Let's get in the management. Shubhrakant Panda, Managing Director of IMFA, joins us on the line from Bhubaneswar. Shubhrakant, good having you. Thanks so much for taking the time out. Gargi, our analyst, was just speaking about this 8 to 10% run up in ferrochrome prices in the last 1 month alone due to the shutdown of smelters in South Africa. What kind of an impact do you expect for you as a company as a result of this?
Good morning, and thank you for having me on the show. As the analyst was mentioning, there has been the re-emergence, I should say, of a bit of a power crisis in South Africa. As you would be aware, the first time this happened was in 2008, and that led to almost a 60 to 70% increase in ferrochrome prices in 1 quarter. I don't think we're going to see that this time around. But what has happened is that Eskom, which is the state utility, has been in discussion with all consumers of large consumers of power to try and get them to back down their consumption. And basically, what Eskom is doing is offering to buy back the power at perhaps even more than what these companies would pay to consume the electricity. And given where the ferrochrome prices are at the moment and the cost structures of some of the South African producers, it does make sense for them. And as the analyst was mentioning, 5 or 6 smelters have been shut down, and perhaps a few more may also take that decision. Added to that is also the other factor that traditionally the April to June quarter in South Africa sees what is known as the winter tariffs, which is when you have a jump in the power tariffs for the South African winter. So because of all of these, you're going to see significant cost pressures, and the buzz at the moment is about 10 to 15 cent increase in ferrochrome prices for the coming quarter. But, of course, we are just going to get into the negotiation mode in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and that's when things will become a little clearer.
Does that signal a trend where prices will only get revised higher from here?
Well, I would like to put it this way, that, the worst is behind us. I mean, having said that, there are things which could act as a dampener. I mean, how the Eurozone crisis plays out at the moment, of course, with the sort of orderly default as Greece is getting into, seems that there's not going to be any sort of a panic reaction.
Yeah.
So the way I would put it is that the worst, which was in the October to December quarter, where we and spilling over into the current quarter, where we saw prices in the low 90s, that has already moved up to about the mid to high 90s. And as I said, we would expect something like a 10 to 15 cent increase in ferrochrome prices internationally in the coming quarter. And correspondingly, domestic prices, which are at about 65,000 rupees a ton, would also move up in the same zone.
What is your spot and contract mix at this point?
We have traditionally always focused on about 70% of our output being sold against long-term contracts as well as the joint venture with POSCO. But I should clarify that even as much as the long-term contracts are concerned, these are basically repriced every quarter. So we are not locked into any long-term contracts at lower prices. Sure. So they're going to be repriced every quarter. And of course, in as much as the spot sales are concerned, there we do have repeat customers. But I think that's where you would really see the full benefit of any price increase.
Okay, Shubhrakant, very quickly, 30 seconds. You've got this uptick in ferrochrome prices. I believe there are some expansion plans that are getting commissioned next quarter. So FY13, what kind of an expected uptick in revenues and profits compared to what you would do expectedly in FY12?
Well, FY12, we're looking at about 1,100 crores of top line, which with the commissioning of the new 120 megawatt power plant in the coming quarter, and more importantly, the start of operations at the captive coal block that we are developing, at the top line, we would see something around 1,500 to 1,600 crores, barring any surprises in ferrochrome prices, which I don't expect. And bottom line has been under pressure during this financial year. We are looking at perhaps 50 to 60 crores of PAT, but that should move up, reasonably significantly.
Northwards of 120, FY13?
Hard to take a call at this point in time. Okay. I would much rather wait and see what how it pans out beyond the first quarter. And then it will be perhaps, I would look to touch 100 crores, but one would have to wait and see exactly how the ferrochrome prices move and where and how they maintain.